Okay, so where do we left off at? I noticed that I go back and I listen to what I posted, and it just makes me cry because I don't know. It just makes me cry, and I realized that, girl, you done blocked out so much stuff. You blocked out so much stuff. And as I'm listening to it, I'm remembering stuff. It's triggering me to remember other things that went on during that time, which is crazy. You know? Like, at first when I came on here, I said to myself that, what I said to myself was, should I do an outline? Should I do an outline of my lifeline? Or should I just flow with it? And I said, you know what, T? Just flow with it. Don't write no outline. Don't, because how can you write an outline when you barely remember a lot of the things that you was going through? You get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the stuff that I went through, I mentally blocked it out of my head. I mentally blocked it out of my head. And because I did that, there was a time in my life when I was depressed, anxiety, couldn't leave my house because mentally, my mind, look at this car, y'all. Mentally, my mind couldn't hold it no more. Your mind is like a computer. And when you hold all the trauma, it gets burnt out. It literally gets burnt out, and it turns into depression, and it turns into anxieties. And I once released it. I had to go to a psychiatrist at one point in my life. You understand? Because I had to release a lot of the trauma that I was holding in, that I was secretly holding in because I was ashamed. I didn't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? People thought I came from this good family background, living in Long Island, but I didn't. You understand? I didn't. I'm driving at the same time as I'm talking to y'all, which is not a good thing, all right? So y'all watching me, don't do this, okay? But it really just hit me where I needed to speak, you understand? And these people ain't even letting me pass, y'all. Let me pay attention. I'll be back. So back to what I was trying to say, there's a lot of loopholes in my story. I know that some of my family members, they might see it, or even my first baby father, he might see it. And I just want to say to y'all, don't feel away. This is my story, okay? I'm sure you have your story that you want to tell and you want to express. I could have forgot a few stuff, you know what I mean? But this is what my memory is remembering. I want to also say this too. When I was back in foster care in North Babylon, the restricted home, my father died when I was in foster care. And I got a phone call from the agency telling me my dad died. And I was like, what? I was so in shock that it took me 3 years for me to shed a tear. 3 years. And you know what did it? I was in my room and it was a song. I think it was Earth, Wind, and Fire or something like that. And so when the song came on, I was like, oh, shoot, my dad used to listen to the song. And I just started bawling. Okay? Bawling, crying. So they took my child away. I ended up going back into, I got an apartment with my baby father. He was fucking me up in this apartment. One day he came home, I was out. I packed me and my kid, my child, and we went to live with my sister in Queensbridge. Living there was like hell because he would wait for me. I had to go to work, Chase Bank. He knew the time I had to go to work, so I used to leave there at 4 o'clock in the morning. He used to be downstairs in front of the building on the bench, sleeping, waiting for me, messing with me, fighting me. And I'll get to work looking raggedy, crying out because I had to go to work. I had to take care of me and my son. He used to come up to the job, harass me. And then I had to leave the job because they fired me after a while because of all the drama I was going through. called the cops on him. The cops, and back then, when you call the cops, when you used to call the cops back then, they didn't go arrest them. They needed to see proof that you was getting abuse. You had to have a black eye. You had to have cuts on you for them to arrest you. You get what I'm saying? So even though he used to do all of that, black on my eye, busted lip, they used to look for him, but they never used to be like how they are now. Like if you showed them a black eye and busted lip, they gonna hunt you down and come and get you. But back then they didn't. If you wasn't home, you wasn't home. And so the case got just thrown away. You know what I mean? It wasn't as tense as it is now. So anyway, he's y'all, oh my goodness. And I went through that for a while, over a year. I left that job, Chase Bank. I found another job where I met a guy. He was from Guyana. And I told him what I was going through. And so when I used to tell him that he used to wait for me, you know, beat me up and stuff like that, one day he waited. Like, oh, this nigga is rolling up on you. He waited, and he was gonna he was gonna kill my baby father. Literally kill him. You know what I mean? And so I pleaded with him not to kill him because I have to live with that. Even though I wanted that nigga dead. I wanted him dead. I wanted you dead. I hope you listening. You know what I mean? But I couldn't live with that on my conscience. I couldn't grow. I couldn't, you know, tell my son, like, I had your father killed. You know what I mean? So when I started dealing with this man, I think he got it in his head that I need to leave New York. And this is when he went down to Virginia to go live with his sister, right? So he went to go live with his sister, and he's down there, and even down there he was harassing me. So my son is going on 2 now. He went down like when my son was like a year and a half. Then my son then as he's down there, he's still harassing me. He's still threatening me, and I was really scared of him. So if he said he was going to do something, I really believed him because he used to do it. So I went through that for a whole 6 months or whatever as he was down there. He ended up coming back up. What he said he would do, come back up to fuck me up some more or whatever. And when he came back up, he's like, let me have my son. I want to see my son, da 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 da. He ended up taking my son. And he took my son and brought him down to Virginia. Okay? And then he brought him down to Virginia, and he had him down there, and I was like, I'm coming to get my son. I'm coming to get my son. Ooh. He eventually brought my son back because he couldn't really take care of my son. Okay, so my son comes back. So because he brought my son back during that time, I was like, okay, you know, when I would go to work, he was like, oh, I'm going to take him for the summer to give you a break. You know, we was trying to be on good terms, but he still loved me. So when the summer came, I gave him my son. Girl, men out there listening, he didn't give me back my son. When 2 months came up and I was calling him to bring, he's like, you're not getting him back. You're an unfit mother. You smoke weed. You this. You're a whore. You this. You're not getting back your son. And at the time I was like, and I didn't even know, I had no address. I had nothing to go up. So I had no address. All I had was a phone number, his sister's phone number. I had to go to his father's house out in Long Island in Freeport. Ask him, can I get the phone number to your sister? Because John got my son. He's not trying to give me back my child or whatever. I went through this for months, right? And then I'm skipping a line. But the bottom line is, one time my cousin Takima, she drove me down there because he told me I was going to get my son. Now, my son is older now. I was going through this for years, not knowing where my son was. He would let him call me on his birthday. You know what I mean? And then, so one day, I think he was about 4 years old, I met my cousin Takima. Now, she's my first cousin, and I had just met her. And she knew my situation with my son, and she offered to drive me down there to go get him. So we driving down to Virginia to go get him because he said I can go pick him up and bring him back. So we get down there, we stayed at a hotel, and we waiting for him to come to the hotel. And she knew a dude that was down there, whatever. So she goes to meet the dude. He comes when she wasn't there. This nigga harassed me wanted to fuck me up, wanted to have sex with me because I didn't want to have sex with me. He was just going off, right? She ended up coming back. No, so I didn't have sex with him or anything. He was like, all right, get in the car. I'm going to take you to go see your son. I get in the car. He drives around wilding, punching windows. You don't fucking love me. You don't fucking love me. Shit like that. Crazy shit. So I finally get my son. Even when I got to the house to see my son, he wouldn't let me see my son. He still was fighting with me. I was trying to hug my son. My son was running to me to say hi or whatever. He still was trying to avoid that. Cops came to the house where his sister was. It was crazy. Where I had to leave his sister's house and get back to the fucking hotel because he was going to kill me. I had to leave Virginia without my son because of his behavior. I swear to God, ask my cousin Takima. It was the wildest shit. I went down there to go get him, and I had to leave him down there. So this went on for years. Years this went on. Me not knowing where my son is at, him not giving me no address, him not calling me. So it's a big gap where I didn't have no communication with my son. By the time I had communication with my son was like 9. Okay? And he came, so I guess my son was acting up and misbehaving. And so he was like, I'm dropping your son off where you live. I can't take him. I said, bring him. So he brought my son back to New York. And this is the time where I already had my first daughter, Naomi. And I had my second daughter. My youngest son wasn't even born yet. He brings her back to New York. He stays with me, for a good 2 years. He's going to school. I'm so happy because I'm finally able to be a mom to him. You know what I mean? He's getting to know me. I'm getting to know him. So 2 years passes. Me and his communication is fine because he done got married. He done had another child. So he was like, oh, I wanna bring John down for the summer to spend summertime. And I thought everything was cool. I was like, okay, you want to take John? That's fine, because he misses his dad because all he knew was his dad. You know what I mean? So things was going good on his end. Things was going good on my end. He took my son down to Virginia again and never brought him back again. He did the same shit. Long story short, my son ended up staying down there until he was about 16 years old. I ended up having 3 more children